during a wartime where their death was happening right in front of me, that's where prayer took another, different significance. My family is very strong. My brother was probably the strongest person I know, my mother as well, but they succumbed to adversity. You can't just turn to Christ through adversity and through hard times. You need to share your good times, your happy times, your regular times, everything.
Hi, welcome back to Mac Stories. I'm Bridget Richardson, your new host for this batch of stories on, wait for it, prayer. Prayer is arguably the most simple and most complicated thing about spiritual life. And prayer can mean different things to different people. But at its core, prayer is communicating with the sacred or God. And people can pray in lots of different ways. They can pray through scripture, they can pray through music. And, an obvious one even is just to sit and talk to God and listen. So let's hear from the people. First up, Christopher Zeglin. He is the Associate Vice President of Marketing at University of St. Thomas in Houston and a United States Navy veteran. Let's hear about his relationship with prayer first in his childhood and then as an adult in the military.
Growing up, prayer was something, that happened at church. And as I got, older in life, going through the military, it's more, the prayer was said more in different other ways. In different ways. But really when I went back to do anti-terrorism and you had that chaplain that was in our Army base. I'm a United States Navy veteran. During a wartime where their death was happening right in front of me, that's where prayer took another, different significance. Had a different turn and a meaning for me.
So for Chris, his prayer life deepened and took on a grander significance during his time in the military. Let's hear why.
Back when I did anti-terrorism over in Kuwait, this was a year after 9/11. So when we got called up, we got put in an Army base. It was a 120 Navy stuck in a 2,000 person Army camp, and a lot of death was around us. We did anti-terrorism, so we were actively out there trying to stop terrorism from attacking our veterans, our assets, our military soldiers. So we saw that, and our chaplain was not just somebody who was a chaplain, but he was right next to us, and he was right there working with us. So the meaning of him was a little bit more than just somebody you went through for help and for faith, but it was somebody that was right alongside you, and that really put a lot more meaning behind what prayer was, what your faith was, and gave more significance. To look around, and not everybody's Catholic, but to have other people from other religions be right there next to you, and they're in a time of need, and they're saying a Catholic prayer is really powerful because they're looking for faith, they're looking for support, they're looking for strength. Through that chaplain's message, it really united everybody together during really a strong time of need.
So the chaplain was this person that the whole team galvanized around, and the fact that the chaplain was going through exactly what everyone else was going through has really important significance. And from Chris's perspective, prayer sort of became this lifeline of hope and sustaining divine intervention that everyone was seeking.
What I see is when you go through a prayer in a situation where you have others around you, you're going directly into a prayer like Our Father. And that significance goes into where we're all, in sequence, and it's bonding us together. And you look differently. It's you have the different relationships you have with everybody, but it's different when you're in a situation where you're needing to turn to religion for strength. It kind of takes away some of those negative relationships you have, and you bond together all as one. And we kind of united, and it might be somebody that you personally don't like, but in that situation, y'all are just y'all are connected, and y'all are together, and it really bonds you, and provides more strength when you need it.
Prayer as a way to bond a community together is such a key point in understanding that we have access to this power literally at any time. You may have seen those little decorative signs at Hobby Lobby that say, prayer is always personal but never private. And since prayer is communication, it indicates a communicator and someone being communicated to. So already it's an active bond that brings people together, that brings beings together like nothing else. Now let's hear from Chris about how prayer in adversity really brings you through particular moments. When the unimaginable happens, how do you respond?
Everybody goes through adversity. All of us go through adversity. We all experience death, but sometimes different trauma and different death kind of impacts you differently when you have somebody close. So I've had my brother, 21-year Navy veteran, Morgan Zeglin, take his life on January 28th of 2023. And then 6 months later, my mother, she took her life on July 14th, 2023. And my family never had a history of mental illness at the time. We didn't have a history of suicide. So that impacted me very, very heavily. We're a family that's very strong with interfaith. And what I learned there was that you can't take on all your struggles internally. You need to turn to Christ, and you need to turn to prayer. You need to have your faith in other ways to really strengthen you. And what that's done has helped me is in everyday life is when I get up, I pray for them. I pray for what my day is. And as it goes on, I go to Mass. I've really been touched by the kindness and generosity of Father Dempsey here at UST, the insight and amazing messages from Father Eduardo. The Basilian Fathers, what they built here at UST really gives a foundation of prayer and through Christ that really can help anybody that's facing adversity. And I want to encourage everybody to do that. No matter what religion you are, there is something here through your prayer, through Christ, through your faith, that really can help you in a time of need. If you take that upon yourself, all you're doing is taking on the burden of the world on your own shoulders. And through Christ, He can help you, not take that burden yourself. My family is very strong. My brother was probably the strongest person I know, my mother as well, but they succumbed to adversity because they took it upon themselves and didn't look externally for any help. And that's what I've learned myself. That's helped me build as a stronger man, as a stronger father, as a stronger husband, a stronger friend, and a stronger leader for not just UST, but for anybody that in need. I can relate to everybody, and I'm here to help anybody. And I will gladly go and sit down and pray with anybody to help them through time and talk them through it. Sometimes it's just getting your message out and really just talking about it. And that's something you have to do. You can't keep it internal. There isn't anybody strong enough in this world to take on that much adversity on themselves.
The idea of strength coupled with vulnerability. You're strong if you ask for help, and you're even stronger if you ask for God's help. I think the world tells us something different. And hearing Chris's story, the unimaginable happens, and this strong person is looking for help. And it kind of makes me smile that he looked for help in another chaplain, that in Father Eduardo, UST's campus chaplain, because life can be really, really challenging, to say the least. And it's when we seek others for help to sustain us that we can get through those moments, even these moments like this of intense, unimaginable grief. And Chris is a father. And like the other story that we previously showed with Nathaniel, Chris understands the gravity of carrying on his faith to his children.
My legacy of prayer is I want them to really be able to know how to utilize prayer in not just times of need, but in times of happiness, any times of their lives. It's something you need to do. You can't just turn to Christ through adversity and through hard times. You need to share your good times, your happy times, your regular times, everything. There's something for prayer for everybody, and there's so many prayers out there, and there's so much guidance you have within prayers, within Mass, within the messages coming from Christ. And that's what I want to give the foundation to my children, not just my children, but my future grandchildren and their grandchildren. Your journey through Christ and Catholicism is something that never ends. Your education, your knowledge, no matter how much you think you know it all, you never know enough. And there's always more to learn. And I'm excited about the rest of my life to get closer to God, to get closer to Christ. And really, my journey is just really at the beginning. And I'm 48 years old.
There is a prayer for everything in your life. And herein lies a challenge. I'll do it too. Go find a prayer, an unexpected one. We'll put a good resource linked in the description. but find one for you in whatever situation you are in your life, or one for the world, and you pick, then you pray. Next time we hear from a young woman who left her family at only 19 years old to become a professional ballerina, but then the bottom fell out. Feeling betrayed by God, what did she do? Find out next time. Before you go, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you're notified of our latest videos. I'm Bridget Richardson, and you've been watching Mac Stories. Bye.